Hello, buddy. Welcome back to the channel. I've got my friend Joe here, and Joe is one of the youngest people I've ever interviewed on my show, and I've known Joe for a couple of years now, maybe almost 3 years. And your family is related to the owner here, my friend Alan. You're Alan's wife's daughter's boyfriend.
Yes, exactly.
Got it. Okay. But so, tell me a little about your family.
Okay. Well, my dad is French.
Oh, nice.
And my mother's from Cebu.
Wow.
So my dad served in the military, the French army, for 20 years.
Wow.
And then, funny story is, he never actually planned on coming to the Philippines. So he was going back and forth to Thailand and Vietnam.
Huh.
And the day that he wanted to go back to France, a friend of his told him, you know what, why don't you try visiting the Philippines? There's, women there. It's different from here. The culture is different. So my dad finally decided, okay, I'm going to give it a try, probably a week. And he landed in Cebu. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't a Manila flight. He landed in Cebu, went to a mall, and my mom works as a salesperson for jeans. Yeah. And that's where he started hitting on my mom.
Wow.
And that's...
Was he still in the military when he met her?
Yes, he was still. And then once he met her, he decided to retire because 20 years, that was long enough.
Nice. Yeah. And so where is he now?
He's here. He's in Bacong.
Oh, nice.
With my mom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Has he ever been over here?
Just twice. They're good friends with Alan, but I would say my dad's just, he prefers going cycling. He prefers just doing his own thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it sounds like a very fit guy.
He was. Until alcohol got him,
unfortunately.
No. But yeah, it happens.
Yeah, and he's about the same age as me, you say, like around 68?
68, yeah. He used to be super fit. He was like lean and strong. But then I guess you get influence with friends as well, And some foreigners here, unfortunately, they prefer drinking. They prefer...
I was telling you earlier about all the guys I know who've died. And when I started thinking about it, probably 75% alcohol was somehow involved.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what, was kind of the tipping point to their health, whatever happened to them. That's what started it.
Well, I guess it's also the leisure or the convenience of being in a, as they say, paradise. Everything's so much cheaper. They've been so much in their lives that they just want to lay back, they want to relax. And I don't know, I guess alcohol is just one of the, their favorite pastime.
It is, I don't see a lot of drunk people here. I see like locals, like down here at the end of the road here, they sit down there and they drink their rum and stuff sometimes on Saturday night, but they're not like out of control or anything. It's like in America, when you see drunk people, a lot of times they're mean.
Oh, really?
They're aggressive. They want to start a fight with you or something, or act crazy in their car here. And the people I've met that were drinking, the Filipinos, they were just friendly. Hey, come over, have a drink with me, and like, it was a whole different, attitude. But also here in the Philippines, it's a conservative country, but you can go to 7-Eleven or any sorry store and buy a bottle of rum.
Yeah.
You don't ask for ID or anything.
They don't ask for IDs. Like kids could, just easily buy cigarettes if they wanted to.
Oh, yeah, easy, yeah. It's so expensive, your average person can't really afford to be a smoker.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think that's a good...
Yeah, I do too, I agree. So your mother and father are still together?
Yes.
Well, that's nice. How old's your mother?
My mother's turning 50. Well, actually, I'm sorry. She turned 50 last March.
Okay.
Yeah. My mother, she's such a warrior too. She was battling cancer.
Oh, no.
I mean, she still is.
Yeah.
But last year was really like the worst of it.
What kind of cancer was it?
Breast. Okay. But the problem is it was a very invasive type of breast cancer wherein even our doctor told us that, I don't know, it's just a slim chance of her surviving. There was water building up in her lungs.
Oh my gosh.
And even she accepted her faith eventually. But then luckily, she's alive and kicking. Yeah, she's getting better.
Well, so did she have any kind of health insurance, or how does it work? Like what, Phil Health or something?
French insurance. So my dad is
your father's insurance covers her here.
Yes.
That's nice.
But unfortunately for me, no more, because up to 18 they cut, and then you have to pay for your insurance, and it's just too expensive. So what I did was get the PhilHealth, the
That's
Philippine
what I got
insurance.
too.
Yeah.
It's like it's not perfect, but it's something.
It's something, right? It's really going to help just in case.
So as far as your citizenship, do you have French citizenship and Philippines?
Yeah, dual.
Wow, that's nice. So you can go to any EU country, right?
Yeah, luckily.
Nice.
Like I'm super thankful that my dad actually thought
And
about
you've decided to stay in the Philippines, though, huh? You could go anywhere. You know, you got a lot of countries to choose from.
that. Yeah.
I assume you speak French.
Yeah. Actually, the military wanted to.
Which military?
The French,
Oh,
the French
really?
army since I was 18, 19, 20. Eventually, they stopped sending. So
Yeah.
they used to send letters every
Is there
year.
mandatory service over there?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I'm not really sure for the pure French folks there, but for me at least, it's not. But yeah, I basically grew up here. I think I'm more comfortable here as well.
Yeah.
I may be half, but I consider myself to be, you know, like I would say 75% Filipino.
And so you speak fluent Bisaya?
Fluent Bisaya. That's my mother tongue, basically,
Wow.
Cebuano.
You speak 3 languages then?
Yeah, Tagalog as well.
Oh, 4.
We count
Wow.
that, yeah.
That's great. So did you go to university?
Yeah, Silliman. Just.
What did you study?
I took up biology. Now,
Interesting.
I'll be honest here, I didn't do well in school. So college was really, I wouldn't say an experiment, but it was more of like, I was very lost in college. Because growing up, I've always wanted to be a pilot.
Really?
Yeah, I love aircrafts, I love everything about planes, and
You can still do that.
yeah, it's not
You know,
too
there's a
late.
shortage of pilots in America. Did you know that?
No.
I mean, a big shortage. They're actually like, some of these airlines are offering like, you know, free training and things like that, you know, so it's, there's a real shortage of pilots.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's never too late, right?
Now, how old are you now?
I'm 28, turning
Oh,
29.
you got plenty of time.
Yeah, I guess I just have to work myself with, like, you know, getting enough money to support myself.
Yeah.
And then do that, like get a license. Of course, that's the end goal. It was just too expensive. Yeah, it
The
was too
training, you mean?
Sorry?
Pilot training, you mean?
Yeah, pilot training
How
here.
much was it?
Right around 2 million pesos for the whole course.
That's what, $4 million, right, US? Something like
No,
that?
2 million
I mean,
pesos
$4,000, I mean.
would be 40,000.
Oh, 40,000.
$40,000, yeah.
That's a lot,
Right
yeah,
around.
that is a lot.
It was too expensive, and I didn't want to, you know, like ask too much from my parents. They might
Yeah.
like tighten the belt just
Yeah.
for me, and it was a scary choice. So
But that's to be an airline pilot, right?
yeah,
Well, you know, there's also, you know, you could start an airline just going, you know, something this country needs, which I've seen in the Caribbean, the Bahamas, is small planes like 4 to 6 passenger prop planes that go from island to island to island.
yeah, the
You know, if there
Cessna
were-
planes.
If
yeah.
there was something here, you could get on a plane, you could fly from here to Cebu, here to Manila, here to Palawan, wherever. I think that would be very profitable. And, you know, you just need like, you know, a couple of planes that would hold 4 to 6 people. And then you just have to have a commercial license, but you don't have to have the same, you know, all the qualifications like a jet or an airliner.
I guess that's where you start, anyways.
Yeah, it
Have you
is.
heard of Royal?
Yeah.
The one in Cebulan, yeah. So you fly the Cessnas. Once you get the license,
Yeah.
then you can apply for the bigger.
Well, do they have any kind of training program? Have you reached out to them at all or talked to them at all?
I did.
And what'd they say?
Same price, same.
$40,000.
Yeah, right
before
around.
you can even get the job.
Yeah, before you can even get the license. And now the applying for companies is a different thing. It's a different training. It's a different airline. So,
Wow.
so it's really pricey. And so what happened was I got lost in college. Eventually, on my 3rd year, Vanessa, my partner, decided, okay, you know what? I want to be a flight attendant. So I'm going to fly to Manila. And it just like, you know, hit something in me, like a spark, like, oh my gosh, this could be my chance as well. I don't get to drive an aircraft, but
Yeah.
I'd still be in an
Yeah.
aircraft. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I flew with Van to Manila at the age of 23, if I could remember that correctly. Yeah, around 23. So we studied for around 3 months, and then the rest was history. I got hired by AirAsia.
Oh.
I went to Malaysia just for a few weeks, actually just a month. And then I turned it down because I was too far from my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Again, it was a mistake, but I was young. I flew back, risking it all, applied to Cebu Pacific, thankfully I got hired, because oh my gosh, I would have just thrown everything away, you know. I got hired, and then I flew for a year before COVID happened. So here we are.
So what about now? What are you doing now?
Online. So I applied as a virtual assistant. At first, I was assisting my clients for Twitch gaming, so I was editing, and then music, all of that. Until just recently, 2 months ago, we decided to come up with an outsourcing company. So now it's more of like, it's not really a client to employee relationship. It's more of like I'm the co-owner and he owns it, and we're like building this company. So we started with outsourcing. We wanted to outsource virtual assistants here in the Philippines, or be it like nurses in the States. It was just too hard. The recruiting side was just too much to handle. We didn't really know what to do. So we finally ended up with marketing. So right now we're getting clients wherein we run ads for them in social media, and boost their business.
Well, that's the future online. It's like there's so many things you can do, and especially when you're your age and you're young and you understand the internet and how things work. Like look at me. Like I came over here at 65 years old, and I make a living now. At first I was tutoring English online. I did that for a year. Oh, wow. All online, virtual tutoring, and then ended up with a YouTube channel, and now I do that. But there's so many things you could do. And then you're your own boss. You're in control of your own future, and you can make a lot of money depending on what it is. So yeah, I keep following through with that. But I wouldn't give up on my dream of being a pilot. You never know. Someone might see this video in America and say, hey, I can help you out, or
wow. That would be.
It could help them. So that's still your dream, though, right? To be a pilot.
Yeah, I mean, right now I do see comfort with online, and especially with vlogging. Like I absolutely enjoy it. Like, of course, I would love to be successful in YouTube as well, just like you, just like many others who are, they have great minds when it comes to these things. But at the moment, it's still uncertain. My YouTube is still growing, and that spark is still in there. Whenever I hear an aircraft take off, there's still that excitement. Like, oh my gosh, whenever we go traveling with my partner, like I think I spend most of the time just admiring the aircraft and everything that's, when we're in the airport, I'm just spotting planes.
Well, you and your girlfriend Vanessa were able to go to Europe together, right?
Yeah.
How did you manage that? How did you get her a visa to go to Europe?
She's half German, so she's also a dual.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
she has a German passport.
She also has.
Nice.
Yeah.
You guys are set really as a couple, because you can go anywhere in Europe.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you got the Philippines too. Wow, that's a big plus.
I guess it's just we never really thought of that. It was more of, we're comfortable here in the Philippines. Let's.
But you got it in your back pocket in case you ever needed to. Does she speak German?
It's not fluent.
Yeah.
But like good enough. Like she
her
understands.
father was German. Now he's since passed away, right?
Yeah, 2009.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's really nice. You got to go to Europe. Where did you go with her?
So we went to Munich. Funny story was, out of nowhere, her brother, who is in Europe, messaged her if we wanted to spend Christmas with his family there in Europe. So
how nice.
We were just super stoked. That was her first time literally going to Europe. And that would be probably my third time. But my last time in Europe, I was 3 or 4, so I can't really remember what happened, So it was something really exciting. Of course, we had to ask help from our parents, because at that time, we were 21, 22. And we went to Europe first week of December, spent Christmas there. So we went to Munich for a week, and then we went to Paris.
Nice.
That's to visit my side of Europe. Yeah. So I wanted to show Vanessa and her brother what France was like. So we went to Paris while waiting for our trip to the south, because my dad is from the south. Now, funny story was me being a kid, like I was so laxed with everything. I left my bag in the hotel room in Paris with my driver's license, with my 2 passports, with my watch, and with my pocket money. So I brought a couple of euros, and I just got probably like 20% of how much my budget
Yeah.
was. Gave it to Van, like, keep it. I don't want to bring a sling bag around. It's winter. It's, you know. And when we got home, our supposed flight was the next day, early morning. We were dead tired. It was 11 in the evening. So we got back in the hotel. We just, lights out. We woke up at 3. We started packing. Everything was okay. And then boom, where's my bag? Where's my sling bag? I need my passport. I need my money. I need...
Oh my God.
And so I started freaking out. So I started thinking, I started scrolling through my photos from the other day, and I didn't wear my sling bag. So I couldn't have left it like while we were strolling. So it was in the room, but I swear it was so clean that the doorknob, there was nothing. So, I mean...
Someone came in and stole in your room and stole it.
Yeah, and there were cameras facing the room. I guess I was just too, you know, I just had so much trust with how it works. I didn't.
So what
really...
happened?
So what happened was we started panicking. I went to the lobby.
Yeah.
And they were telling me they don't know what happened. It's impossible. I was like asking them to turn on the
Camera,
footage.
the CCTV, yeah.
Sorry, sir. At that hour, it's turned off here on our system. It's not working, right?
Jeez.
And I kept begging, and I could remember I was sitting by this by the stairs with the manager. And it was just me and him while waiting for the cops. And I was telling him, sir, I don't care about the money anymore. I don't care about the watch. I don't care about my license. Just please, please, if you know anything about this, I'll shut my mouth. Just please leave my passport anywhere you want. There's no evidence. As long as I have my passport, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to forget about this. Nothing. And I could remember, I was so emotional. I started crying because I was freaking out. It was our first time in a foreign country.
Another country, you lost everything?
And I don't have my ticket to get out of there.
Yeah.
It was so terrifying. And the cops were there and they were like, you know, that smirk on their face, like, this is not the first time, kid. Unfortunately, this is like, you know,
happens all the time.
Yeah, it happens all the time. And I saw the assistant manager come out and he gave me that look and then looked away and he went out with a thick coat and a trash bag. And I was like, it's 4 a.m. What is he doing with it? Taking out the trash at 4 a.m. I don't know. It was just instinctively, I just thought, I think my things are in there or something, just in case the cops arrive.
Right.
But I never bothered. I never bothered following him. I was just, you know, the whole thing was just so scary for me. And what bothered me the most was I was with my partner. I didn't want her to get affected as well. So that happened. 7 a.m. Instead of taking the flight, we were in the police station. I don't speak fluent French. I could understand just, you know, good enough. So I asked a good friend of ours to visit us, to help me out. Yeah, and eventually the last change we had, we used it for a train ticket to the south. And then my cousin helped me financially just to get back to Germany. And then, it was really tough.
How did you get back to the Philippines with no passport?
So what happened was I spent half a day just riding the train, going to the Philippine embassy on the other side of Paris. By myself. It was such a scary situation. I didn't know what to do. Luckily, I felt home when I was inside the embassy. Everyone spoke Filipino. Everyone was, you know, and they told me to be careful next time, which of course I learned that lesson the hard way. And they gave me this paper that was my only way out of Europe. So once we exited France, so our flight was Toulouse, south of France, to Spain, Madrid, then to Munich. So when we were in Madrid, I almost missed the flight as well because the guy in the security was so firm looking at me and investigating me thoroughly, which I could completely understand because it's just odd to bring that paper around. But yeah, that happened. Luckily, I got back to Munich, and then the rest was history. I had to reprocess my passport. I'll never forget that day, honestly.
So you got them both back now? You're both passports?
Yeah, now luckily I got them both back, but who knows? My picture there, my name, and my fake passport now is circulating around
somebody's
France.
flying around as you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I learned a long time when I was your age actually about that, and like I always carry like my wallet with my credit cards one place, and then in another pocket I've got my cash, and in another pocket I've got like a handful of like say $20, $30 in little tiny bills in case you get robbed. Someone puts a gun out, you reach up and you grab all the small bills and you hold them up like that. When they reach for it, you drop them on the ground and they'll grab the bills and you can get away.
Yeah, that's a really
and
smart.
I always keep my passport on me. I never leave it anywhere, but usually when I travel I have a pair of pants with a zipper in the leg pocket and I put it inside there. I always keep it with me. But yeah, that's sad that happened to you. So you haven't been back since then, huh?
No, we were planning to, but understandably we're still, trying to make ourselves stable right now.
Yeah.
And maybe once we're financially secured, then we'll definitely go back to Europe.
And so getting a little taste of Europe, even though you had a bad experience there, you didn't make you think, well, wow, maybe I could live here. What would it be like to live in this city and all these conveniences? No, just
not at all.
Come back to the Philippines.
I never had that feeling. I guess it's more of, because to be honest with you, Mark, let's talk about Malaysia as well.
Yeah.
I know I've mentioned that I stayed there for a month, I guess.
Okay.
It's not really the place. It's about who I'm with, and I think I was with my partner I'm still with her for 11 years.
Yeah, Vanessa.
Yeah. So 11 years.
You guys been together 11 years?
11 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long time. You gonna get married or what?
Yeah, once we're financially stable,
Yeah.
of course, that's the next big step. I would love to.
Yeah.
I guess it's not the place. It's really who you're with. And if I was a single man, in my younger years, I guess I'd be somewhere else right now.
Okay.
There's so much opportunities out there. Same thing goes with Van, but I guess it's just the situation. And I think Van is also happy with staying here with what she's doing right now. She's earning more than what she was earning as a flight attendant. Same thing goes to me as well. So I guess it's...
But her mother's gone back to Australia, and it's going to be there for a long time.
Yeah, but...
And she comes here to visit, twice a year, and that's about it, huh?
Yeah, that's about it. But, I mean, we're kind of used to it. We lived in Manila for 2 years. We barely saw our parents anyways. And I guess it's more of the companionship with Vanessa, and it's like we kind of want to do things together.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Point. Yeah.
Well, I think you're really doing the right thing though with your own business and online. There's so many things you can do, and something else doesn't work out, you try something else, and eventually you'll hit the magic combination.
Crossing my fingers.
Yeah, of course.
Honestly.
Just keep trying. But yeah, you can still, even if you don't end up being a commercial airline pilot, you can still get your pilot license.
Yeah.
My friend, I've got friends of mine, like, it's too bad I could have introduced you to my friend Gordon Cooper, who was a retired airline pilot, also a retired flight instructor, but he passed away a few years ago. But I've got a friend of mine, Jeffrey Hulse, who's a licensed pilot, and it's not that hard to get a pilot license, especially in America. If you just want to learn how to fly a plane and be able to have passengers like your friends or family, that you're not charging for, that's not that expensive,
What would you say? It's like 40,000 as well?
Oh God, no, a few $1,000s. Really? Yeah, I would think. I took helicopter lessons when I was your age, back in California. I thought I wanted to fly a helicopter, and I love helicopters. And I was paying about $80. This was back in the '80s, but I was paying about $80 per lesson, whether it was flying or ground school. I do ground school 1 week, and the next week I do a flight lesson. And to get my just helicopter license back then, it was going to be, in the few $1,000s back then. I don't know what it is now, but it's something that was achievable.
That's amazing.
So it's something you could definitely do.
Yeah, I hope so. It's still, again, the end goal is eventually once we get financially stable, I will, try.
They have flight schools here in Dumaguete?
Yeah, Royal by Cebulan in the airport.
Okay, yeah.
So you drive Cessnas.
So did you ask them what it costs to get just a regular pilot's license?
Yeah, it's same. I would say maybe let's round it off at probably 1.5 or 2 million. So it's still around $40,000, I would say.
Wow.
That's
35 to 40,000 US
Yeah.
to get just to learn to fly a Cessna?
to learn. Well,
That can't be right.
to be okay here. I'm not really
A
certain.
million pesos is like $20,000, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah, 20,000 right around. So right around. Yeah, but
God,
I
that
don't
seems
know.
high.
Yeah.
Especially in the Philippines, you think everything would be cheaper here.
I guess I'm just saying that based on what I know when I asked way back then in Cebu, for example. But I would imagine it's the same, and I could
I
remember.
bet they're talking about a commercial pilot's license. I know if you wanted to get a
don't know.
commercial helicopter license, it was like $20,000-$30,000. But just to learn to fly and get your license to fly a helicopter was way, way less.
I don't know, Mark. Honestly, I gotta
Let's
like
check
follow
into
up
it,
on that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody will message in and tell us, I'm sure. So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about your YouTube channel that you've got, and I'll put a link to it in the description.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. So I just recently started about a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
but I started like doing serious travel vlogs probably 7 months ago. So we first started in Hanoi, Vietnam.
Oh, nice.
It's more of like an experimental thing. I felt
Yeah.
so awkward in front of a camera, but so we spent 4 days in Hanoi, and then we went to Malaysia, and then
How'd you like Malaysia? I was there like way back in the 80s, but I don't remember much about it.
were you in Kuala Lumpur?
Yeah, yeah.
It's beautiful, to be
Yeah,
honest.
it's a really nice city.
It's a really nice city. I love the food, by the way. Malay food is amazing.
They
The
speak
people-
English there too, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Way better than Vietnam, because in Vietnam,
Yeah, I
oh
heard
my
it's tough
gosh,
there, yeah.
It is so hard to communicate with them.
Is that someplace you could see yourself living, or still you'd rather be in the Philippines?
Yeah, Malaysia actually is actually a nice place to live in. Kuala Lumpur, a bit more expensive, I would say. It's
Yeah.
kind of like Manila, or just slightly more expensive than Manila.
I know like Singapore is real expensive
Oh
now,
yeah,
yeah.
Singapore is
For
just
some
way
reason.
up there.
Yeah, way up there.
It's like Japan, I
Yeah.
would say. But Malaysia was beautiful. Yeah, but now we're focused on the Philippines. So we've been to Bohol, and just recently we went to Iloilo,
Oh, nice.
Guimaras, and Bacolod.
Nice.
And I'd have to say, Mark, Iloilo is one of the most beautiful places I've been to in the Philippines.
Okay, we got to go there.
Oh my
I
gosh.
hadn't got to travel much because COVID hit right when I was ready to start traveling. I've been there almost 5 years now and I haven't been there. So we have to do that. Have you been to Palawan yet?
No, but
wanna
we're
go there
planning
too,
to.
yeah.
I've heard-
You'll have to talk to my wife about that, see if she's
Please.
up for going there.
It's so
How'd you
beautiful.
get there?
So we drove the car to Bacolod.
Yeah.
It's probably 4 hours, 4 hours 30.
Yeah.
Probably with a bus, it could reach like 6 hours.
I don't do buses.
Yeah, but if you ride a boat, it's if you take a car, I mean, it's like 4 hours, 4 hours 30.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and once you get to Bacolod, it's a 1 hour 30 ferry ride to Iloilo.
Okay.
So it's,
So you would drive there, then leave your car, and then get on a ferry that would take you
yeah, they have this secure parking area by the port where you just pay them 100 pesos a day
there. Wow.
to keep your car there. So it's
Nice.
really convenient. Yeah, Iloilo was amazing. It's I mean, you can see on my vlog if ever you watch it. Spotless.
Now, what's the name of your vlog?
Rome with Joe.
Roaming Joe?
Rome with
Rome
Joe.
with Joe,
Yeah.
okay. Rome with Joe, that's
Rome
easy to
with
remember. So we'll put a link to it, guys, in the description. So do me a favor and check out his channel, and please subscribe, but also share his videos on Facebook and Instagram and wherever you can, and that'll help him get subscribers and grow his channel. So
Thank you. Thank
do
you.
that
guys.
for me, guys, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So I guess that's about it. Let me ask you another question. I've been asking this to the older guys, and so I've never asked this to a younger guy. But in your lifetime, aside from losing your passport and all that, what's the hardest thing you've ever had to go through as a young man? You think about it and say, wow, that was tough going through that in my life.
Ooh, okay. I've only been here in this earth for 28 years.
Yeah.
But I mean, in what way do you mean
Just
that?
whatever. When you look back and say, that was a tough time in my life. That was hard.
I would have to say that was in back in 2019 when there was just so much things going on. My grandmother, who I dearly, dearly loved, was suffering from colon cancer, and at that same time, I wanted to be hired as a flight attendant because I saw it as a way wherein I can bring her to Manila.
Right.
It would be her first time on a plane. I could, treat her and show her a better life. And I could remember while waiting for the news, we were watching Lion King in Robinson's, Manila, and out of nowhere, I get a call from my mom. And once I picked up the phone, it was my mom just sobbing, just telling me, "You gotta get to Cebu right now." I was like, "What do you mean I gotta get to Cebu? I'm in Manila. I'm not ready. I'm with Vanessa here." It's like, "Please, your grandma is in her last dying breath, and she wants to see you."
Oh God.
And so I just rushed. I remember just sprinting a few kilometers all the way back to the condominium, just packing up, just frantically, just booking the next flight, having to board the aircraft. Like, eventually.
Did you go by yourself or did Vanessa go with you?
That was by myself. I just sprinted. I didn't even say bye to Vanessa in the cinema.
Yeah.
Just sprinted out, texted her.
Gosh.
Yeah, and I was in the airport just like a deer with the, those headlights, huh?
Yeah.
Please just get me to Cebu. And eventually I got in this flight, Cebu Pacific. I got to Cebu. I told the Grab driver to maybe just rush things a bit, please. I was on the phone just begging for my grandma to wait for me.
Yeah.
Finally, when I got there, she was on her last breath. She couldn't even talk. It was just her eyes wide open.
Wow.
And I could remember talking to her, asking for forgiveness, just telling her I'm so sorry I couldn't, accomplish the things I wanted to earlier.
Yeah.
And I know she heard me because
Sure she did.
I could see in her eyes, even though she was technically like dead.
Yeah.
She was, hanging in there listening to me. And while I was going through that, so she literally passed away in front of me and my family. So that was kind of traumatizing after everything I've been through. And then there was the insecurities of, will I be hired in this company where I'll be? So it was just everything happening at once, wherein I don't know, and at a very young age, and I went through anxiety. It's really hard to.
But it's so good you got to see her though. Just think if you hadn't made it there.
Yeah.
You made it. You made it there. She got to see her.
minute.
You made it the last minute. So
Last minute.
that's a good thing. I'm sure she appreciated that. So on another note, like when you look back on your young life, what's like the best thing you say? Wow, that's one of the best things ever happened to me, or I'm so glad I made that decision. It changed everything for me, or.
It's definitely going to Manila.
Oh, really?
And taking the risk of not finishing college and applying as a flight attendant.
Okay.
Because those were literally the best years of my life. Being so liberated, starting a new life with my partner at a very young age, not having your parents around you, and again, working in an aircraft, earning your own money. And it was, I would say at that time, it was a very comfortable job for us.
Is there any path with Cebu Pacific or these other airlines to an employee who's a flight attendant moving up to pilot? Like,
Yes.
is there something somewhere they help you out to get there, or you think there'd be a way you can move up in the company, like training, take a test, whatever?
Yeah, there was a program that was something like that. So I think there was a minimum of 2 years as a flight attendant. Then
Yeah.
you can apply, and then they will train you for free. But in return, once you get hired as a captain for Cebu Pacific, they will take a percentage of your pay as your training fee. So
That's not a bad deal.
it is not a bad deal, and
Have you thought about doing that?
Oh yeah, I really eyed on that. But unfortunately, I got hired 2019, and then COVID happened 2020.
Well, you're still young though. Could you ever go back and do that over, or?
I could still. I was actually. They sent me an email last March.
Yeah.
To come back, but then I declined because at that time I was already working online. I was earning a little bit more, and I was also vlogging.
Yeah,
I truly enjoyed.
It's a brighter future, and it's like you have control of your own destiny. And
Yeah.
being a flight attendant for at least 2 years minimum, You know, that's not an easy job.
It is not an easy job,
You know,
honestly.
it's like almost like being a waiter in some ways. You're just taking care of people, serving drinks.
Yeah, and there's
you know.
emergencies that you have to deal
Yeah.
with. You're held responsible for whatever
Yeah.
happens to a passenger and to,
Yeah.
you know, and
What does
yeah.
a flight attendant make on Cebu Pacific? Like, what's the salary?
I would say the range. Let's talk in pesos. Probably like 35 to 50 to 60,000. It just depends on your flying time.
Per what, week?
No, per month.
30,000 pesos a month?
Once you just start, when you start.
That's like $500 a month.
Yeah, it depends on your flying hours. That's why.
God,
When you have
that's-
like very bad flying hours, then it's not
So you're
really
making,
much.
you know, a little over $100 a week.
Something like that. Again, it depends on your flying time because
Yeah, you're better. You made a right decision. Like, with the internet and doing things online, you could make millions.
yeah,
There's young guys like you that are literally making millions of dollars.
I've noticed
and
that.
you could
yeah.
very easily make $1,000 a week a year from now,
Yeah,
doing whatever you want to do. At least yeah, easily.
I mean to be honest, like my main focus right now, like funny enough, is really on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like
That's good.
aside from my travel vlogs, I've noticed there are some, you know, improvements. But I'm always thinking of a different. Maybe I'll start up a different channel as well. It stresses me out sometimes. Wherein, what is a niche?
Exactly. You
That
got to
is-
find. See, with me, my niche is one that I don't know anybody else is doing what I'm doing. Interviewing regular guys.
I love it,
you
honestly.
know. And with you, I think you and Vanessa, you're such a nice couple. Just about your lives and what your daily life is like and doing other things, people would be interested in you. Like, for example, there's some of these YouTube channels where they live on sailboats. And there's several of them, and it's a couple, they're on a sailboat just traveling around the world and whatever, like a vlog. But people are fascinated about their life living on the sailboat. They pull into St. Kitts, they go shopping, the boat breaks down, there's a storm, whatever it is. And people are just, you know, become obsessed with the lives of these two young people because they have such a boring job, such a boring life, and they say it's a kind of an escapism
Yeah.
to watch this young couple in their sailboat sailing around. They say, God, if I was 25, that's what I would do. So they can't do it themselves, but they can watch somebody else. And so for you, maybe there's a channel or a niche where the two of you could just go about your life, and you decide to take a trip to Vietnam or wherever. It could still be a travel log, but kind of also about your lives together, you know, and the struggles you go through, and sit down and tell these stories. This, like the story you just told me, talk about that. Talk about what it was like being a child in the Philippines, growing up, and people you know that are poor, what it's like for them, and what it's like for you. You know, just basically about your life.
I love that, actually.
You know,
yeah.
you would be the niche yourself. You know, people get interested in you as a person. You can build a channel around that.
That's really a great idea,
Yeah.
honestly. Wow.
Yeah, and I'll help you.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Truly appreciate that, Mark.
Well, guys, we've gone 38 minutes. Thank you so much for your time, Joe. I really enjoyed having you on. I
Hey,
hope you'll
thank
come
you.
back again. And please, everybody, watch his channel, watch his videos, and subscribe. Just do that for me. You know, don't worry about subscribing to my channel. Subscribe to Joe's channel and give him a thumbs up and everything. So we'll see you next time, buddy. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.
Thank